Hey guys, OgreBarberian here, back for another in-depth look. This time we're going to take a look at Supergirl, last daughter of Krypton. So Supergirl has an interesting, unique kit and gear set. I believe her gear set makes her some sort of mixed support, if I remember right. I can't really remember. Let's get into her skills real quick. One of the cool things about Supergirl is that both of her attacks that deal damage are actually both AoEs. So, her basic attack, Heat Vision Sweep, light damage, and apply one critical chance down to all enemies. And base damage goes up quite a bit. And then it applies 2 critical chance downs to random enemies. One, this is upgraded to Legendary. Definitely not something you want to take early, but it's worthwhile upgrade eventually. Although, I think based on her other upgrades, you're probably going to save this for last. Alright, her second ability, her team buff, Strength of Hope. Apply 2 affinity resistance ups to all allies, and a bunch of turn meter. Let's see. 8, 11, 14, 17, 23, 28. 28% turn meter to random allies. So not a terrible chunk of meter. Definitely worth using. And then the legendary for this is apply death immunity to random allies. It's probably going to be your 4th upgrade, to be honest. It's not... the randomness is what makes it just kind of eh. So. And then we get into her massive AoE. Damage to all enemies. 50% damage if an ally is below 50% health. And as you can see, it does gain decent chunks of damage. This is going to be your primary damage move. Since her Heat Vision Sweep is her basic, it does do quite a bit less damage. And then apply 10 critical chance downs to all enemies. Now, basically what 10 critical chance downs do is they're not going to crit. So this is probably your 3rd upgrade, unless you're not going to use her as a leader, and that's probably your 2nd upgrade. And then we have her passive. Save the day. Gain 18% turn meter if Supergirl or an ally is dealt a critical hit. And this goes up and also grants her some agility ups as well. 18, 21, 24, 30% turn meter and 2 agility ups if anybody is dealt a critical hit. So, and then she'll also gain 2 strength ups with the legendary upgrade for this. This is probably your, probably your 1st upgrade. The 2 strength ups really do help her deal a little bit more damage, which is otherwise not that great. Yeah, and it's not, she doesn't have any special damage, so it's just damage. So, and then last we have House of L, her leadership. Team leader ability, all enemies gain minus 22% critical damage. 24, 26, 28, 32, 38. So minus 38% critical damage, all maxed out. And then allies gain 12% agility if you have the legendary upgrade. And this is probably your 2nd upgrade if you're going to use her as your leader. 12% agility is nothing to scoff at. It does reduce damage quite a bit, and then the reduced critical damage also helps as well. And again, she cares about reducing the critical damage because she wants them to crit, but she doesn't want them to kill her allies because she wants her save the day to trigger. That only happens if they actually critically hit. So reducing the critical damage is kind of a big thing for her. Let's go ahead and take a peek at some team comps that I'd come up with for her. So the first one, we have Supergirl lead with Penguin, Jessica Cruz, and Shazam. And the idea behind this team is that they are all tanky as heck. Supergirl, Penguin, and Jessica Cruz all apply affinity resistance ups. And then Shazam is just an uber taunter, never gonna die. And Penguin, every time he gets critically hit, is going to use his umbrella shield to grant shields to the team and unawareness to him. Jessica Cruz can also grant shields to the team, along with some affinity resistance subs. So just all around super tanky team that, and then everybody that attacks your team has a chance to trigger Supergirl's passive, has a chance to trigger Penguin's passive, has a chance to trigger Shazam's passive, and then if anybody does die, Jessica Cruz gets a little stronger in the meantime. So That's kind of the idea here. They're just super tanky and super annoying. They're not going to win quickly, but they will win eventually. Alright, another team I come up with here is Supergirl League with Clayface, Swamp Thing, and Castaway Green Arrow. Now, the idea with this one is that Clayface will protect the team with all those agility ups, and the reduced critical damage and agility bonus from Supergirl will also help. And then Swamp Thing is passing out true heals and mends with his basic, and also applying critical ups if you have that upgrade. And then Green Arrow is there for some turn meter control, some buff purging, and the ability to go invisible on his second move will also give Clayface increased chance to stay alive. So, just good all around tanky team. It's going to be hard for the opponent to take down. Again. And then Castaway Green Arrow is going to pop off extra attacks along with Swamp Thing popping off extra attacks. And the bonus turn meter from Supergirl should make her go relatively quickly as well, so even if they do crit, they're not going to deal a ton of damage just because of so many agility ups from Clayface, and then the bonus from Supergirl. So, you're reducing a lot of physical damage that way. Watch out for special damage. Alright, and this one is a completely AoE-based debuff team. You got Green Arrow Emerald Archer as your leader, Supergirl, Star Sapphire, and Terra. And the idea here is that Terra can take care of any evasion that might be a problem. Star Sapphire is going to give you the heals that you need to stay alive, along with some strength downs. Supergirl is going to apply some crit chance downs, and then Emerald Archer Green Arrow is going to apply some agility downs and possibly strength downs as well. And they're all going to be able to do AoEs, which is also going to reduce the enemy turn meter, gives them some agility downs and some strength downs. And then Terra can also use shields to help the team survive a little bit, on top of Star Sapphire being able to heal everybody, and Supergirl being able to, grant them affinity resistance. So, good all-around survivable team that applies a ton of debuffs to take out the enemy. And the last one I got for you. I know it looks a little weird, but Zatanna actually has a leadership, despite what most people think. And her leadership says that any ally that applies a debuff is going to have a chance to gain some turn meter. Very similar to cheetahs if they apply a bleed. So the idea here is that Zatanna, Supergirl, Constantine, and Scarecrow all apply debuffs, and a lot of them. And then Constantine and Scarecrow both care about the number of debuffs on the opponent. So having Supergirl Boulder upgrade will just set those two into high gear right away. And also gives Zatanna leadership ability to just trigger constantly, because everything applies debuffs with these guys. Almost every single move applies debuffs somehow. So you're going to have debuffs flying all over the place, whether int down and bleed and enrage, and then hit chance downs, and I think Scarecrow and even stun, and then critical chance downs as well. So you got tons of debuffs to play with. Lots of things you can do with this team, I think. Just a lot of debuffs in general, because that's what I like. Supergirl cares about those debuffs a little bit, but not as much. She does apply a ton of them because of the 10 critical chance downs to each enemy with her Boulder Slam. So she can definitely help out Constantine and Scarecrow quite a bit, and then can gain quite a bit of meter off of Zatanna as well. So, and then she can also protect the team with her affinity resistance up, so Zatanna's heal is good. So you got another all-around good, heavy debuff team with a lot of survivability. So, alright. As always, leave a comment, like and subscribe. Enjoy, and grind on.